Kia ora, and welcome to Friday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz. And today we lead with news. It's all about the US and the sharp weakening of the greenback. It is now at its lowest level since early 2022. And a key part of the reason is worries about Trump's attack on the Fed's independence. Meanwhile, US initial jobless claims have stayed elevated, although they fell from the prior week to be 227,000, which is marginally above the same week a year ago. There are now 1.87 million people on these benefits, 124,000 more than the 1.75 million a year ago. And the first quarter US PCE inflation was revised higher overnight to 3.7% in updated data, and that is up from 2.4% in the fourth quarter of 2025. Early impacts of tariff taxes are starting to show through here. Real consumer spending was revised down to just 0.5% growth from the initial estimate of 1.2%, and well below the fourth quarter's 4% growth. These revisions don't paint a very good picture about how American consumers fared in early 2025. Final GDP growth fell 0.5% in the quarter, the first decline in 3 years. But there was a good rise in durable goods orders in May, up 17.5% from the same month a year ago, but non-defence capital goods orders rose only 2.4%, suggesting boardrooms remain hesitant and see the tariff-related order rush as nothing more than temporary. Certainly the Chicago Fed's National Activity Index doesn't point to any upturn, nor does the latest regional Fed survey, this one from the Kansas City Fed. And the May US trade balance wasn't great either, coming in with a worse deficit than expected at $94 billion, with exports dipping and imports rising from April. From a year ago, the result was little different. Globally, policy imbalances cause distortions, as you would expect, and in the short term at least, they can juice up trade activity despite their intentions. Elsewhere, in Singapore, industrial production slipped in May to be only 3.9% higher than year-ago levels. In April, the gain was 5.6%, so a clear easing, even if it wasn't as much as was anticipated. More generally, we'll need to be careful talking about commodity prices when the US dollar is on the downslide. Almost everything is quoted in US dollars, so rising prices now largely reflect that depreciation. Freight rates are falling after the relatively brief Iran crisis hot war, and they too are quoted in US dollars, so the falls will be magnified in other currencies. Container freight rates were down 9% last week from the week before to be 38% lower than year-ago levels. But a year ago they were in their own Suez crisis stress. Bulk cargo rates are falling too. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.25% and down 4 basis points from yesterday at this time. And the price of gold will start today at $3,334 an ounce, up $12 from yesterday. American oil prices are little changed from yesterday at just on $65.50 a barrel, while the international Brent price is still just on $68 a barrel. Meanwhile, Shell confirmed it isn't currently bidding for the underperforming BP and that it is required to wait 6 months under UK law to take another look. And the Kiwi dollar is now just on 60.7 US cents, up 40 basis points from yesterday, and that's an 8-month high. However, against the Aussie, we're down 20 basis points at 92.5 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're unchanged at 51.8 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at 68.1 and up 10 basis points from yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $107,338 and up 0.3% from yesterday. Volatility of the past 24 hours has been low at just on plus or minus 0.7%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again on Monday.